Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Concert Junkies, Rob and John. Oh yeah. And we're live.
Woo!
Hi.
What's up, everyone?
So this is Ladies Night. You girls want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'll start. I'm Fox from Forever May Fall.
I'm Taryn from Lilith Rising.
I'm Mindy from Dying Earth.
And
that's Fran from Savage Ladies of Metal. She can't talk right now because she's echoing. Jazz hands. Wavy hands. How is everyone on this fine Wednesday?
Just lovely, except for the echo issues.
I just remembered it was Wednesday after Taryn and Mindy so lovingly reminded me.
Hump day.
Yeah.
Hump day.
Yeah. There's a cat. I don't know if you can hear that in the
okay.
background, but Monster says hi.
I thought I was going crazy.
Hi, kitty.
Monster wants to say hi. So, I guess he's gonna ruin Ladies' Night just a little bit.
All right, I'm taking a chance real quick. To all the viewers, there's an echo issue, and it seems to be coming from my computer, and I'm jumping on real quick. I don't know if anyone is hearing any echo with me right now, but I am staying muted just in case. So we're going to try to figure out a way where I can type in my questions and get this out to the ladies. So just bear with me. Rob's going to have to obviously take over for the most part, and I'll do what I can.
What's your questions? Let's go.
All right. Well, we'll start off with a little game here. 2 truths, 1 lie.
Ooh. That's going to be fun. 2 truths and a lie.
Yep.
I got to think about that, man. Someone else go first.
Okay. I used to do opera. I'm really good at basketball, and I know how to juggle.
Okay, I know you used to do opera.
I'm going to say the juggle thing is a lie.
You are correct, but you know me too well.
Yeah.
So
I know. Let's see. 2 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie. I have the same vocal range as Amy Lee. I can bend one of my ribs in and out. And I came from England.
I'll say the England one.
I'm definitely going to say England.
Yeah.
that's too easy.
I know. I suck at lying.
Same.
Okay, so my eyes are green. I used to be in a band that was signed, and I've never broken a bone before.
You were in a band that was signed.
Yeah, you're right.
Your eyes are not green.
They're not, but they have green in them.
That's fair.
I guess it's my turn then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I never played a violin in the middle of Breaking Benjamin concert. I'm a reverend. And I don't know. And I know how to play the piano.
The lie, the lie. Is it the piano?
Yes, it is.
I do not know how to play the piano that well either. Two by ear. It's a long time since I hit the ivories. Yeah.
So
That's
to
what
go,
I've
so
heard instruments I
so
play.
to go to the story about the violin at the middle of Breaking Benjamin. I was bet to do so. The guy bought me the violin, and I started playing in the middle of PNC Art Center in Homedale, New Jersey. I made a few bucks that night.
It's wild.
Never picked it up before in my life until that night.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I don't know if they were paying me just to shut up or what, but I did get a beer out of it.
That's
I mean,
good.
hey, that's worth its weight in gold to some.
Yeah.
I love PNC.
Just okay. Wait, Fran wants to talk.
Oh, that works.
There you go. Been married multiple times. She can sing and she can play guitar.
Well, the first one I know is true. I know, fuck me, I know.
Is it the guitar?
That's what I'm going with. Guitar.
Oh, look who's here.
Hey!
Love you
What's
guys
up,
too.
Pam? Love
Hi.
y'all.
Can you not play the guitar? Or you can't sing? Which one was it?
I'm gonna go with guitar.
She can't play
Can't play
guitar.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, Mindy, we're good at this game.
I know, right?
I feel like we
Liar.
talked about Fran singing in one of the last interviews we did.
One of, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, I don't know what she's talking about. Missy,
What's
Hey,
up? What's
Missy.
up?
hello, hello.
All right, so when you were, I'm going to say about 13, whose pictures did you have on your wall that was famous?
Oh man.
You know,
I had
that
a
crush.
kitty.
What
I had
year
a
was
kitty
it?
poster.
I'm saying that crush, that, what do you call it, 13-year-old crush that you had on your wall.
Oh, the crush.
I was trying to
We
figure
all-
out what year it was. How old was I when I was 13?
Oh man, I was in the peak of like the emo takeover. So I had like Taking Back Sunday and Newfound Glory. I had oh god, my crush then was Davey Havoc from AFI because that man always was and always will be fine.
So pretty.
Oh my god, I used to say that. My mom used to yell at me and be like, "Boys are not pretty. Don't say that."
No, he's prettier than I am.
I was like, "Nah." I'm like, "Ma, this
Oh,
this
shush.
dude is pretty."
He's gorgeous, for real. Oh, I would have to say probably like Pink or Joan Jett. I mean, Joan Jett's been on
yeah.
my wall since I was like 6 years old, so that's probably my all-time crush still
Yeah.
to this day. I'll marry you
So
if
that
you're
was
out there. Hear this?
That was the year 2000. The person I had up on my wall at that point was actually Gwen Stefani from No Doubt.
Love her.
So
Okay, that's
You
yeah.
said that was 2000?
that was 2000. I think 2000, 2001. I still had Gwen Stefani up on my wall because that was before I moved to Jersey. So, yeah.
I forgot you were from Jersey too.
I'm not
Yeah.
from, but I lived in Jersey.
No, well, I'm saying I forgot you lived in Jersey.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't move until 2003? 2003, I think.
Oh, this was one of the questions that was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Joan.
I
Jett.
want to do like a cover with Joan Jett, but like not just one female doing that, just like swap off. I think that'd be
I'm in.
fun.
Call me.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Hey, we got it right here. Let's do it.
Yeah. I think Jill lives the closest to me. You like Virginia, right?
Hey, I'll drive, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
Because Mindy knows she's got a bedroom here, so we'll make it
Yeah.
happen.
Well, you could stay in my house, but you don't want to.
We'll just have a big sleepover. It'll be a fun time.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I'll come over. I'll come over and sleep over.
Don't
Ladies' night.
broadcast that because now people are gonna want videos of the pillow fights and shit that we apparently all do. At
Hey, that would be-
sleepovers.
It'll be
That would be
it'll be
great
a part
TikTok
of the
clip.
Joan Jett music video.
Hey, that's perfect.
That's
We're
great.
doing this. Let me work this into my schedule.
I'm
yeah.
game. Anytime after May
Yeah.
31st, let's do it. We actually have the mini studio set up here, so like we actually can do that.
I have a microphone set up. but
Oh
no,
well,
like,
there's.
Carrie
Carrie
King.
Oh, you had Carrie King on your wall.
Oh
I love how we're like decoding notes right now.
well,
Get
I
a
love
Sharpie.
Oh, Carrie King. Okay.
It's like one
well,
word.
well. We're gonna have to do this anyway.
Somebody said, what? A pillow fight in the studio? Absolutely. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting
As long
here
as we
like,
don't
where are
break
you
anything,
seeing
we're
that?
good.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
All right. While she's doing that, life or death scenario here. What song can you sing, word for word, except for your own?
oh my god, that's a horrible question. That list goes on and on.
Yeah, that's a lot. First thing that came to my mind was Joel. Any song by Joel, I probably know every word to.
Uninvited by Alanis Morissette. Almost anything by Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
second.
absolutely.
Are you going to go
Oh.
see her?
I saw her last year, actually. That was a birthday present that Colts had gotten me. She's
As much as I
my
try
idol.
and forget the lyrics. Yeah.
Alanis is my part of my idol bucket list. So is my like top 5 female idol vocalists or vocalists that I
Same. High five.
idolize. She's
Yeah.
the voice of the
She's-
90s, man. How could you?
Yeah. It was my
could
first.
you not?
That was my first like before No Doubt. That was my first, like song that I got into.
I
like
love
my
No
own
Doubt.
style type of thing. Yeah.
Like the
Song-wise,
early.
I could go with a lot of different songs. I can never forget the words to Bring Me to Life.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I don't think anybody can.
And my keyboardist keeps like playing it during rehearsals, so I just have to keep singing it.
That's a good one.
But we're not.
Perfect.
Yeah. Who's a female crush today? It's Laura Jansen.
Female crush today, man. It's my local girls, honestly, because some of our local girls are just killing it way harder than any of the big idols out there. I mean, you two are kicking ass. I'm rocking my Eternal Frequency shirt. They're up in Pennsylvania. ML is just badass. I mean, I'm missing so many other chicks right now, but there are so
Yeah.
many chicks on the independent level that like they're all my crushes because they're all putting in work.
Yeah.
Hello to the band. Hello.
Which
Hi.
band?
All of them.
Oh,
Hi.
Well, we're just gonna form our own band over here.
Right?
you
We're gonna call it
You
Ladies
could.
Night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Maria Briggs.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so Maria
I'm
Briggs
sorry,
is
but-
badass,
Courtney
but
Lamar.
I don't understand her accent.
All of them.
And Courtney LaPlante, yes, because I love how like just goofy she is. Like she's not trying to be anything
Real.
that she isn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and her screams, like
Mindy, did you say yours?
I'm just throwing this in here. This is fucking killing me. I hope you guys don't hear an echo, because if you don't, let me know, and I'll jump right the fuck back in.
you can talk It's when we talk while
can't
you're unmuted that it loops.
Yeah.
So if you jump in and talk and then mute so we can
Okay.
answer, it works.
You'll be fine. So talk.
How's it going? This was killing me. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like telling an Italian to sit on your hand.
Then everybody needs to stay arm's reach and ears distance from me. Social distancing ain't got shit on being a Dago. I'm just saying. What's up, ladies?
What's up?
Hello.
I'm afraid to even ask you anything. I gotta get ready to hit mute every time. All right.
So
All right. So are we just still asking random questions?
yes.
All right. Here's one. Jill and Mandy, do you guys ever plan on doing a show together?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Have you guys talked about that already?
We have.
Well,
but
we've
my
talked
band
about
is, my band is dragging ass. No, just kidding. We're programming a shit ton of equipment, so we're not playing live this year.
It will happen eventually, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've talked about a lot of things that we can't really discuss right now, but we're actually friends. I don't know if everybody knows that, but, we talk a lot outside of things. So, yeah, we plan a lot of get-togethers, whether it be on stage or not. We'll leave it at that.
Cool. Definitely got to keep us in the loop on that one.
Absolutely.
And probably should put my hearing aids back in, seeing how I need them now. But Rob, you want to go?
I just want to jump in real quick. If you and I, Mindy, you and I play a show together, which we had planned last year, this year I have the song "Dear Lilith," which if you listen to the little like preview of it, there's me growling in the background. But I can't do that live, so I think you could do that really well live with me. So whenever
That's
we
one
have
of
our
the
like
songs-
premiere shows, you got to get
That's
it.
one of the songs that I know the lyrics to, too. So that works perfectly. I can do that. Let's do this.
No, it's our song. It's "Dear Lilith."
Yeah,
you don't
that's what
know-
I'm saying.
Did I send you the lyrics to it?
Yeah.
I did. Okay, cool.
Okay. It's been a while, though. We haven't talked in, over a year, probably, since I saw you?
Yeah, and then I have ADHD brain, so unless I see your face in like every day, I'm like, person doesn't exist. But you do.
Same.
I know that you exist, but yeah.
Same. Go ahead, Fran.
I had to put my hearing aids in. Now I hear everything clear as day, and it's like, whew. Yeah. So I do actually have some individual questions. I wasn't thinking of too many questions, to collaborate with everyone, which I'm sure I'll think of some as we go, so I can play along with that game as we go. But first and foremost, Mindy, I want to say congratulations on going back to Blue Ridge
Thank you.
with your re-invite. That's fucking killer. I'm glad you're going back. XI Radio dropping some love your way, and you're going to be on their compilation album, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. How'd that feel when you got notified of that?
It's pretty awesome on the long list of people that I really enjoy. So it's thrilling to say the least. All the work that we've done starting to up is a really nice thing. Because it's obstacle. We're pushing through.
Yeah, that's killer. You guys are like taking over the South right now. You guys are getting hit with shows left and right. You guys are busy as hell.
Man, we're trying to get back out there from time off and out of member changes and whatnot. So we're doing our best, man. We're climbing back up as best as we can.
Well, you're doing something very right because you're grabbing everyone's attention. I'm just saying. I've just noticed you like taking over. Take that shit. Definitely take it. Jill,
Yes, ma'am.
you, my sweet, you guys are blowing up YouTube and Spotify with your latest song, Aftermath.
Yes, ma'am. That's
I appreciate.
That's been wild. It's for us to be completely silent and under the radar for the last almost 3 years, to come back out and just see that amount of love, it's been, I mean, humbling, of course, to say the least, because like I'd have been happy if only 3 people listened to it, but like 3,000, 4,000 people following the band, 25,000 streams, 25,000 views, like holy crap. It was
Literally every time I open up my YouTube, Aftermath is right there.
dude,
Every
that's
time.
so awesome. It's like I'm about to start tearing up. That's incredible. And like we've said thank you. I don't know how many times I will say it till I'm blue in the freaking face, because I mean, sure, we love doing it because we love doing it, but it just makes it that much sweeter when there's all that love coming right back at you.
I keep forgetting I have to mute this so you guys don't hear echo too much. Which is still well deserved. I mean, well deserved. I mean, you guys instantly it took. You know, I remember when you guys reached out and said Fran had dropped. You know, and you guys have been blowing up. So definitely congrats to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I want to say I am so sorry, sweetheart. I didn't even know you were coming on until last minute, so I have like nothing to ask. So bear with me.
I can tell you about what doing.
Absolutely. You want to tell us about what you're doing, what you guys got coming up, anything like that?
Rob invited me on last minute, so that's probably why you weren't prepared. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm Taryn from Lilith Rising. We have been a little bit quiet because we're searching for a guitarist again. But we did release a sample of a song that we're working on. It's just a scratch recording of it. It's not even like fully produced or anything. At the beginning of this year, end of last year, whatever. And then we had some commitment issues because musicians have commitment issues, and now we have to look for another guitarist again. So, but I think we're close. There's a couple people that still need to come out and show us what they got, and I'm excited to see that. And maybe we're putting in 2 guitarists. I don't know. But that should be a lot of fun. And once that's done, we can make Dear Lilith, like complete it all the way through and put it out there, and hopefully people like it. Again, I don't care if it's just 3 people, you know, I like it, and I know a lot of other people that do like it. So we do have shows that are scheduled that hopefully we can still go to. We have one in June with Strike the Tower, and a couple other people that I can't remember right now, but I'll remember them later. And that's at Skylark, so that'll be fun. I just want to be on stage. That's all I want to do right now. I want to be on stage. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, shit. All right, so I hit the wrong button.
was
Not used to hitting buttons when I'm doing this. I'm used to being left alone, and now I got to play with this shit. Any plans for you guys trying for any fest this year? Both of you ladies. Mindy, I know you're already in Blue Ridge, and you can. I mean, there's other fests out there, you know, for all of you. Are you guys trying all for the big ones or sending shit in?
Man, we have submitted for everything there is to submit to, and you know, if we don't get anything, awesome. If we do, awesome. You know, everybody wants to play a festival, at least one during the year, because you know you're open to fans that you normally wouldn't get, you know, all the rest of the year playing hometowns and playing the coast and whatever. So, you know, we're just trying to get on as many as we possibly can. But hey, whatever you guys want us to be on, we'll take it.
I think next year is when we're going to be looking at, we're going to have our eye on the festivals for next year. As we've started putting things out and started releasing more music, we've just become way more particular about what we want to bring to the stage, as far as, you know, our gear, our setup, our production, our lights, you know, just 100% us and what we're going to do. So we've been working on perfecting that craft while releasing new music, so that by the time we do start booking some big things, we're playing ultimately a set list of newer music and phasing out some of the older stuff that's just not as consistent or on the same plane that the new music is on. So
Same, girl, same.
yep.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we're really focused on, is trying to get like the new stuff in, and we're still keeping like 3 of the old songs from like the previous band name. But that's because they're fun. If you've ever seen me do the song Coffin, it's just fun to do. But trying to phase out some of the older stuff and bring in all the new stuff. So, but if anybody wants me to play anything, I am game. Like, I'll just come and join you on stage. It's fine. But I'm willing to play pretty much anywhere, and I think the band is prepared to do that once we have our guitarist in place.
Any plans of coming up north?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was born and raised on Long Island, so
was gonna
there's no
say.
reason for me not to go up there. And I've got Mindy on the way up. I've got our friends in Eternal Frequency and Renovare on the way up. So I mean, we could make a nice long week out of it. And
Come to Jersey.
I mean, yeah, you're basically in my backyard, so
Let's do a coastal tour. Let's take over.
do it.
We need Jersey
Yeah.
dates.
Let's
Yeah.
let's do the couch surfing tour because my ass is too old to be sleeping in a van.
Everybody else can sleep like in a van or wherever, but we'll get a hotel room. Let's
Yes,
just,
please.
It's fine.
Yeah.
My
And that's
If
where
I'm-
we'll
if
go
I'm-
live with the pillow fight. No.
We can live stream the pillow fight each night.
Brand new pillow fight, new pajamas.
Could you imagine the views?
That's actually not a bad idea. We could charge for that. We could charge for that. We can have like playoffs, like the first night, Friday nights of one, round one. Saturday night round two. Saturday on Sunday is the final round. Who goes live? We charge an arm and a leg. That shit'll blow up.
I hope somebody's writing this down.
Gotta watch out for my Ronda Rousey arms.
So just saying, possible idea, seeing how I'm in the Chicago area. If the ladies come up, the idea of a Savage Ladies Night stage is a show that I would love to throw, and I would love to put each one of you. If I can get everyone to come up, to come up by the Chicago area, I mean that'd be a killer night. And I've been thinking about this and taking notes down and doing it, but having literally a Savage Ladies Night where only the metal ladies will dominate that stage. That would be a killer idea.
All right, I have a good question here. How is it? How is it touring with boys?
Loaded question. Because
I know that's a loaded question.
yeah,
What is the smell like?
I mean, you know what though? I wouldn't put all the smell on guys because I know some chicks who smell fucking rank too. Like, yeah, there's so, and sometimes chicks are definitely worse than guys. I have not been on tour with dudes since I was like 19. I was young, so it was stupid. Like, it's just a bunch of children with alcohol.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like they always call me the mom because it's like having little chickens. I got to keep all my little chickens in the basket. Don't do that. You come over here. Let's got this. Okay, we got to be here at 5:00. Okay, it's time to wake up. I'm that bitch. So it's like a mama going on tour with her kitties. I love them.
With this band yet, but I do kind of just like keep them. I wouldn't say in line, but just kind of like on focus when we're doing stuff. But I did tour when I was like 19, and it's pretty brutal being stuck in the same place with anyone for that amount of time, and not seeing the people that you like want to see. But with guys, I'd say that a lot of guys are pretty chill that were in my band. It's just they liked to drink and I didn't, so that was the only problem that I had.
See, now I'm not sure if it's going to be easier or more difficult to tour since my guitarist is also my boyfriend.
Both.
Probably more difficult.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is
I dated.
streaming matches are probably going to be incredible.
Back then I dated within my band, and I was like, it's never a good idea to date within the band, but if you already have an established relationship outside the band, it might work. It usually
he came in afterwards.
But yeah, the problem that I had when I was like 19 is that the guys all liked me, but they didn't like each other. So there was this like
Yikes.
competition.
Yikes.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that band was going to blow anyways, but
I think it's just not hard for me because I pretty much am one of the guys. So like I'm just as much a dude as they are. So we kind of just fit in together. It's not really any different for me because most of my friends are guys anyway. So yeah.
I think
for
Forever
that,
May
too.
Fall on tour would be interesting because we're all tight knit already. Like we act like a family. We celebrate holidays together. You know, we do a lot of shit together. We all go to shows together. So I mean, the easy part of touring when everybody gets along is just going to be that much more incredible because it's like being out with my brothers and my loved one. That being said, the bad part of tour is the fighting. The fighting is probably going to be more intense because we do treat each other like family. So the screaming matches are probably going to be 10 times louder. We've got so many differing opinions, and we've got Sweeze, our bass player. He always loves to play devil's advocate. And while devil's advocate can always be a good thing, especially when you're making a financial decision, sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment and you just want to get something over with, like you don't give a fuck about the other side of the story. You just want to get it over with. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be worthwhile for sure. But I think it's definitely going to be interesting.
All right, I got a question. Do you ladies remember the movie Freaky Friday?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, same scenario. If you can pick a female artist, because I'm going to go that way to play it safe. If you could pick a female artist that you can switch bodies with for one day, who would it be, and what would you do?
Fucking Stevie Nicks. because that woman wrote songs about how much she hated her ex-boyfriend and then made him play in the fucking band.
Coolest thing ever, man, by far. Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
I mean, I'd have to go with my favorite. The one I said I had a crush on is Floor Jansen because she can be a Nightwish and command that stage, and she's also taller than me. So it'd be great to just feel tall and powerful the way that Floor does, but also she just seems like a really, really sweet person too. So I'd absolutely love that. There's a kid screaming in my background.
I mean, I'm going to go with the cliche that everybody already knows I'm going to say, but I'd probably go with Joan Jett. I mean, she was the frontier of all women of rock at one point. And just to be in her body for one day and to know what it's like to conquer all of those things and know that it's going to be okay and to know that, you're empowered no matter what you do in life at this point because you've already done it all, just to feel fulfilled, I guess, in my career and myself. Like, I think that would be amazing.
Mindy, I'm a little
That'd be cool.
disappointed that you did not realize that I am pulling a Robert No Sleeves over here.
Hey,
I did it just for you, Robert.
yeah.
He said, hey, you know what? We're rolling up the sleeves.
There we go. Roll them all up. Rolling up the sleeves.
Oh,
Robert No
okay.
Sleeves.
No sleeves.
Okay.
And he actually has sleeves tonight.
He's got his face. I love it.
I
to
need
get
one.
of those.
We need to get one. And
Love
then
it.
we have to all wear them at the same time,
But with no sleeves.
but with no sleeves.
We love you, Robert.
I know
love
you
you.
do. I know you do.
Damn, I love all of you guys.
I do too. You guys are great.
That's great.
I was gonna say,
All right, so I guess I'll go. There's like dead silence, so I'll just unmute. So I'll be here. If you could communicate in a perfect world to people, or I'm sorry, let me read. How do you think you would have to communicate to people in a perfect world?
How?
Mm-hmm. How do you think you would communicate to people in a perfect world? If you had to,
Exactly
if you had to
now.
explain yourself or what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way we already do for music. I mean, to me, that is a perfect world. Really.
How do you think other people would communicate in a perfect world?
Not as shitty as they do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would just be nicer. Like
Yeah.
overall, that'd be nice.
People would have
like,
more compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
And not
Just-
be jumping on every bandwagon to hold pitchforks to every objecting or opposing point of view. Just sit down and have a discussion.
Yeah,
And,
man. I'd say real love, no judgment.
Yeah,
That's real love and
Yeah.
no judgment. I think that's pretty much sums it all up.
I think that's a very missed concept. I think people just don't understand. Oh, I don't judge, but you do, because you cut people off who don't agree with everything you say. You jump down their throat and you say you're open-minded, but you don't live the open-minded life. So, which one is it?
True that. This is why we're friends, I swear.
Yeah.
there's some.
And
some
what about
days
you,
where I
Tara?
just prefer to communicate with me, but that's only because of the way that people talk. So, yeah, but in a perfect world, it'd definitely be like no judgment, open-minded, and just talking instead of judging.
Communication. Yeah, for sure. Communication has got to be a big part of that. Like actual communication, you know?
Yeah. I have so many background noises.
Yeah, there is.
I'm just looking through like a list of questions that I always have, and I'm just like, what do I want to ask? And then, yeah, apparently my phone's been hacked. Discovered that recently.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a thing apparently. So yeah, I got to get that shit cleaned up.
Yeah.
Why do you think manholes are round?
Have you ever tried putting a square peg in a round hole?
Because they're manholes, you know? Men are-
Most men are round.
yeah.
Okay, legit. When you said peg, my mind went a totally different direction.
You're welcome.
This has been great, you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, this was fun. This was a good one.
Have you ever pegged a square?
Don't answer that.
Yeah, don't answer that, please.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay. Anyway, next question.
Okay, legit.
Okay.
They're round because they're easier to roll, and they won't fall down. It's just funny. That question
Okay,
went so
Humpty
far
Dumpty.
left.
Yeah.
So, what was the best advice you were ever given?
If it's not fucking you, feeding you, or financing you, it doesn't matter.
My girl.
Technically, it does.
Nope. You walk in this house and pay no bills and then tell me what to do in my house. Let me know how that works.
I'd say probably just to not give up, honestly. Like, I mean, life is hard, careers are hard, relationships are hard, friendships are hard, everything is fucking hard, man. But the key is to not give up, because you're never gonna know, you're never gonna get there if you don't try. So, pretty simple. My life motto.
Yeah. Best advice I've ever had was to get out of my head and just live the moments. Like, stop trying to plan everything and just live in the moment.
That's
So
perfect.
that's a good advice for me, at least.
Hell yeah.
It's the full
How do
card.
you ladies-
Full card and tarot.
How do you ladies feel that the internet has impacts music?
Oh,
Amazing and awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a double-edged sword.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. I think if it wasn't for the internet, I mean, obviously we wouldn't be here with you now. You know,
Exactly.
it's done so much good for us. It's helped out in a lot of ways. There's so many ways that we can communicate now that we never would have had before. We can reach out to people. You know, that's how me and Jill became friends. It's like,
Yep.
that's how I met all of you guys pretty much, except for
Yeah.
Taryn. I met you at a show, but that's not my point. You know, it's really great, but at the same time, you know, it's also taken away a lot from artists and entertainment and in general, not just, you know, people who are in bands or in music, but for everyone as a whole. I think it's taken away, but it's also given a lot. So it's pretty 50-50, I think.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
creative front, social media and the platforms, like, it's been incredible because you can reach that many more people. You can reach everyone outside of your hometown with your content that you're creating, but your content is not just the one thing you specialize in. So if you're a musician, if you're a painter, if you're a theatrical dancer, you know, that's not just what you are. You have to be a business person, a model. You have to be a marketing savvy, just technician for everything. You got to know SEO. You got to know hashtags. You have to know.
Yeah.
You got to be up doing all these videos and images, and when you're posting on social media and finding the algorithm and interacting and making sure you have content for this and announcing that, because if you don't, then that giant audience that you're so capable of being in front of goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not just a musician anymore. You're an actor, you're a model, you're grinding, you're creating the content, you're editing, and it's like if you don't know how to do that, you're left behind.
Exactly.
But on that side, it does make it so you, as the musician, as the band, as the creator, have the control more than back in the day when we were coming up, when the internet wasn't necessarily the thing. It was all up to this like one dude over here that had all the money, whether or not you're going to make it. But in this case, it's up to you to put yourself out there. So that's what's good about it. But yeah, the same thing is that the pressure is that I got to keep posting stuff, and I don't have shit to post right now. But like, you know, I've also communicated that to people. I'm like, I don't got anything. So hopefully you guys are still there when
love
I
me.
start posting stuff. So yeah, please love me.
It's exhausting, but it's definitely the one good thing it's done is it's grown the independent league of musicians, because like Taryn said, at one point you needed the guy with the money to make it happen, and now with the reach that the internet has given the independent scene, all of the indies are grinding their asses off to meet and network with all of these different people, producers, other musicians that they otherwise would not have met, and they're growing themselves, their brand, their audience, and the indie scene is just it's better than it's ever been.
For sure.
All right. First, I want to say hi, Will. So we saw your comment. Okay, so I mean, those were awesome. Those were awesome answers and very legit. I mean, it's very common sense. It's a lot more hard. It's harder work because now you're doing a lot of it yourself, and I totally get that. So, what do you think that it's missing now that would help benefit the music scene?
I think it's missing. I don't know how to word this. I think that there is a level of themselves that people are losing. Like, when you were a musician before the internet, you were more than likely highly genuine in your just idea of what the band and the music was. And now, sometimes just to keep up, you're pushing out bullshit content just to stay relevant. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think some people are, like, there are bands out there that will pay for Instagram followers. And you'll see these bands that have 25, 30, 45,000 followers on Instagram, but then when they post something, I mean, you could tell because only 3 people interact with the post.
Yep.
And when you go and you look at their streams, they've got not a lot compared to all these big numbers that they're trying to use on social media to get on stages. And now, don't get me wrong, it's creative. And if that's where you want to spend your money, that's a great idea. But for me, any day, I would much rather have a group of 300 loyal fans that will come to a show, buy a ticket, buy a t-shirt, share my shit, over 30,000 fans that do absolutely nothing. Yeah.
I agree.
I think that basically covers it.
I just remember back in the day when you just made flyers and stuck them on cars and
Yeah, walked around and handed them out at the stores. And
the mall, anywhere.
Littered them everywhere.
Yeah.
The fact that we didn't get littering tickets at 13.
Yeah.
What I do miss is like back in the day with like the metal shows that I would go to, and it's not that far back in the day, but I had this certain amount of camaraderie that would happen between all of us, and then we would still get back together. That's one of the things. Is like there's still that kind of like there is a lot of support, but it's all like internet support. Whereas the only way you could really see that band was to go see that band. Now there's other ways to see them, and maybe it's a little bit too saturated with like which band you're going to go see because you got to go pick. So back when, you know, I was coming up in the metal scene, there was a lot less for me to choose from. So that's one thing. And I also saw my friends at metal shows like all the time. Whereas if I go to a show now, I might not see that friend because they're just online. They're just not my online friend at that point. So, which makes sense. I mean, we all have social anxiety to a certain extent, but yeah.
All right. Do you ladies have any religious prepping that you do before you go on stage? Do you like do vocal preps? Do you do any like prayers and anything like that? Anything you do every time before you guys hit the stage?
I definitely, like, just like any other workout, do a 5-minute workout. So like some high knees, some push-ups, actually get the body warm, stretch, and then a little bit of a vocal warm-up. Newfoundly, I don't drink anymore, so there's no alcohol, just a ton of water, warm water, sometimes hot water before singing, and just like getting into that mental zen, kind of like leave me alone. Let me get in the zone.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I start prepping about 24 hours before. I do mostly screaming, so I have to condition my voice. So about 24 hours before, I'll drink a lot of water, because if you guys didn't know this, it takes about 24 hours for your body really to absorb all the water that you're taking in. So I drink a lot of water. I don't do red meats. I don't do sugars, any of that about 24 hours before a show. And then, of course, about 45 minutes before my set, I'm going to be doing, some stretches, some vocal warm-ups, some breathing exercises, lots of water throughout the entire day. And then that's about it. It's like she said, I go into my little bubble and I shut everything out and I kind of meditate. I say a quick prayer before I go on stage, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I do the same thing with the water. There's also one thing that I'll do before I leave for a show, and it's like a steam type of thing. So I'll like go in the shower and like pull up the steam. I used to, a while back, I used to like take that big bowl of steam and you put your head like underneath the towel, and you do that.
Dude, there's this little thing that Colt and I have. It's like a handheld little humidifier that you literally just like hold up to your face, and it is a godsend.
Give me a link.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that.
I saw one of those and I was like, I need that when I start being back on stage. But I definitely start to get like really introverted right before I go back on stage, and right as I go out there, I can like feel my entire body like just like pulsing, and then as soon as I hit that first note, then I'm back to being extroverted. But I'm ambivert, so I go between being really introverted to being really extroverted. So
I could do that too. I switch back and forth sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there are definitely I call it being an indoor cat versus an outdoor cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I'm introverted, I'm an indoor cat, and I just want to curl up. I want everything. I want to push everything off the counter. I'm gonna curl
Yeah.
up. But then when I want to be an outdoor cat, I'm gonna go get into some fights. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna
Everything.
go mingle. Yeah.
Yeah, get into everything.
So
What's
so
up, Nestor?
Nectar.
Nectar! Sup, Nectar? I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Never forget.
So when does everything change for you girls when you're going on stage? Like the first snare or
For me, it's the
As soon as
first
I pick up
note.
my microphone.
Yeah, it's the first note that I hit. When that music kicks in, it kind of jump starts my heart. You know, it's when I get the butterflies. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm ready to go. And then the second that it happens, and I hit that first note, it's like everything else is just kind of muscle memory. It's what I already know. It's what I've planned. It's what I've prepped for. And then it's kind of a blur, and then it's over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I usually feel a lot better after the first song is over, and then am completely comfortable again.
Yes.
So, yeah. But yeah, definitely that first note is when like that tremor stops, and then everything comes into place.
It used to be going through the first song for me. Now, mind you, it was an old lineup. I had 2 different guitar players. We didn't have any tracks. I didn't have in-ear monitors. So there was a lot more nervousness to make sure that my pitch was where it was at. But now, God, we've upped the gear so much that like I am immediately in my own little world as soon as those monitors go in my ear. Like I can't hear shit. You can stand right next to me and start talking, and I will not hear you. So I get into my own little world there, and we have a cool little intro that we created, and that alone just pumps me up. So just hearing that and hearing the snare drops in that, I'm going to assume that that's going to be the moment where I go from working in real estate law to being a rock star.
For sure. It's like Mortal Kombat in my head. You know, it's like as soon as it starts, it's like, fight! You know, and you just go straight into like, you know. Then when it's over, you're like, all right, I just did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool shit.
So that's awesome. You know, as soon as you said Mortal Kombat, I was just like, finish her. It's like, I love Mortal Kombat. I still do. I don't care. So what would you do if the audience was reacting negatively or distracting while you were performing? How would you react, or what would you do?
If people
I'm sure
distract
they're-
me, I usually go up to them and start singing closer to their face. I've done that before. I did that, especially if it's small. I'm gonna get right close to their face. But I
mean-
normally, yeah. Go ahead.
You still paid to get through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's had that, you know, sometimes you play for like 200 people. Sometimes you might play for the bartender and your friends, and that's literally
Yeah.
it. And I'm okay with
Yeah.
both, you know?
Yeah.
But you kind of have to treat it the same every time. It doesn't matter. Like, inside, you're like, well, damn, this sucks. But outside, you're like, I'm just going to go a lot harder to make you like me.
Yeah.
So I kind of have it's like I'm thankful, like I don't have stage fright where like if I see the giant crowd where I'm like, oh my god, like I never really paid attention to the amount of people in the room, which I guess is what helps to limit with the fuck nectar.
I just read that too. Do you guys
I
wanna
sing in
know
the
a-
shower.
do you wanna know a fun fact. Did anybody know that we actually have a new vocalist? Did anybody
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
I didn't realize you had a
guys-
new
you
one.
like me. Okay, you follow my stuff. I like you guys too. It's fine. But anyways, yes, we have a new vocalist. So
I didn't
I don't-
realize you
I-
had a new one.
yeah, like
Yeah.
new. Like really new. Like,
Like
super
you knew.
new.
You do.
Super new.
So you have a newbie, all right.
I don't sing. I scream. Ah!
Nectar, I swear to God, man.
Okay, so
The amount of protein I eat, bro.
let me just reiterate what he's saying here. What's everyone's favorite song to sing in the toilet?
In the shower.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I don't know.
Mine sounds more like ooh ee ooh ah ah.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
Say what?
Haven't seen that in a hot minute.
Perfect. That's
I went around for a solid 2 months after the Christmas special doing that. I thought Colt was gonna punch me in the face. Say what?
Nectar said, "Who let the dogs out?"
that's pretty shitty.
Oh,
Oh, the
Very,
pun.
very shitty. Yeah.
this has been awesome.
Yeah, this is
I'm gonna
great.
get this in my life.
Agreed.
So it sounds like what Nectar is meaning. He says, "What do you sing into the toilet?" So I would assume it has an echo effect like a fan. I don't know.
like winning over it, singing into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a horrible mic.
It does. Yeah, that sounds like
Yeah.
some tequila nights for me. Like
I was gonna say that sounds like a pretty shitty mic.
it
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm
Well,
like
if I'm in the
tearing up
shower,
over here.
Usually an opera song, so like an opera type song. So yeah.
Oh yeah, you got me in the shower. I start singing the little aria at the end of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
So it's a soap opera?
No.
Days of Our Lives? No?
Yeah.
Oh
it's
my
stupid.
god. Dude, my grandma used to watch that show. I didn't know what was going on. I was like 3.
Nectar done and messed my ass up, man. I just lost track of everything. I just again every time he's on. I hate you,
my
Nectar. I love you, Nectar. I love you, man. I love you. I just want to squeeze the juice.
Oh,
Oh man,
Oh my goodness.
he's like,
this quickly went down the
Down the
Yeah.
shit.
drain, down the
Yeah.
shitter.
yeah.
All right, I'm getting us back on track. I'm gonna try. Fuck. I lost track of everything. Okay. Have any of you ladies ever mentored or given advice to other female singers who want to come into the profession?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
females, but yes, absolutely. Everybody has questions. I mean, that's how we learn too. We had to ask somebody. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, "Oh, I'm a fantastic singer." You have to ask advice and watch videos and talk to people and find out what's good for you. And yeah. I mean, I think everybody helps everybody. At least that's what the entire point of a scene is. Some of us don't cooperate naturally, but some of us do, and so that's keeping the scene alive. I don't think it's really just supporting other bands or whatnot, but it's also supporting the people that are in the bands personally.
Yeah.
100%. I think one of my biggest pieces of advice to some of the newer vocalists that are getting out into the live singing is to really pay attention to their set list and to really study the voice and how it works. It's a muscle, just like anything else. You're not going to sing the hardest song that is at the top of your range first. You'd be a fool to, unless you are singing for 15 to 20 minutes somewhere else at full belt before you walk on stage. Because your vocal cords actually swell up as you sing. And when they get to that proper width and they start vibrating against each other properly to make the sounds that, are your voice, that's when you want to sing your toughest and strongest song. Because you are in the prime spot to have perfect control. So really paying attention to that set list is probably the biggest key piece of advice. I'm not going to walk out and hit a G5, G6 at full belt on my first song, because I won't be singing the rest of the night if I do.
Absolutely. And I definitely feel like, even to this day, we're all still learning. I mean, I've been in the scene and been doing music for 22 years now. I've been in bands for 22 years. And I feel like I'm still learning. I'll message Jill sometimes and be like, hey, what do you think about this? I'm still, and vice versa. But it's not just her, people ask me questions, but I ask them questions. I feel like you're never your best, you're always still learning. I still take voice lessons. I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't think there's too much to learn ever. Knowledge is an amazing thing, especially for a vocalist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially because your body is ever changing.
Absolutely.
That was one of the pieces of advice, as I said, never stop working on your voice. It can always get better. So yeah, I'm also a perfectionist with imposter syndrome, so learn to deal with that.
That working two job things or like having two life, the imposter syndrome is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also own like my own like little business too, so like that also is where I have imposter syndrome as well. So
oh yeah.
Okay.
Left.
Huh?
The comment has taken a hard turn.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to look at that anymore, but you keep seeing my eyes wander. I'm sure it's him. So what I was going to ask was, what was your worst performance and how did you handle it? What did you do? What did you learn from that to not do again?
I think I speak for everybody when I say that I haven't had just one. I've had some fantastic performances that were probably the best in my life. And everybody has bad days. The thing about vocalists is that for guitar players or drummers or whatever, they can tune their instrument and it'll be perfect the entire set. If we are
or they can grab a backup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we're sick, if we're tired, if something is going on that day, if our voice just doesn't want to work and we have no idea why, at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can do about it. So we can be, the best singers out there, but that doesn't matter. Everybody has bad days. I still have bad shows. They're not as horrible as they used to be because when I first started learning how to scream, let me tell you, that was some terrible shit. Not back to shit again, but it was awful. But you learn as you go, and I think that if you're doing it right, you're learning something new every show. Everyone should get at least a little bit better, but you're still going to have bad days.
I think learning on the fly or how to adapt on the fly is extremely important too.
Yes.
I remember it was a show we did with the old lineup. It was an outdoor show in the middle of June in North Carolina, so it gets hot, and I'm thinking like, it should be fine. Humidity is usually good for the voice. And I'm not sure if anybody's really listened to our song Anxious that's on Spotify, but there were some belting notes in the end of the song that I didn't really hit them off in much of anything else. So it was kind of a area in my range that wasn't utilized much. And we're going through this song, and as we get to the instrumental part, thank God I had enough time with them doing their thing to kind of turn around to them and be like, this is not going to sound the way you are used to it sounding, because the air was so hot and thick that I couldn't get it into my body to support my voice. And I felt like I was almost choking while trying to sing. So instead of going to the octave that I normally went to, I sang it on the fly, like down here. And it sounded boring as shit. But it was either that or sound like I was about to hock a loogie trying to make those notes. So I chose the former. But yeah, just like even external conditions. Too cold, dry air, you'll start choking on yourself. It'll feel like you're inhaling dust. Like so many things that we can't control that these guys could go grab a second set of strings or another guitar and just be on their merry way.
It's funny that you say that because Nestor says, tell them about the rec center. So we played this show and it's a rec center. So we thought we are going to play in this giant gym that they had. Okay. It was huge, but instead they put us in this tiny little side room. So you have all these people in there in the middle of summer. The doors closed and you're in under these lights. It was easily 110 degrees in there. I mean, it was so hot in there that the walls were sweating.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And the floor was slippery because of everybody's sweat. I kid you not. It was so hot and it smelled so weird. And we were in there like a tuna can, you know, like everybody's elbow to elbow, and there's no stage. So we're on the same floor as the audience, and they're like this close to your face, breathing on you while you're trying to perform.
Ugh.
Not fun.
No, not
It's
ideal.
not a fun time. I couldn't even catch my breath, and I had to do these really deep gutturals, which
Ooh.
requires a lot of breath, but I couldn't even get in enough breath to like hit cleans. It was
Ugh.
a struggle. Definitely a struggle.
Yeah,
Nestor
I
said
would
I was
say-
seeing thoughts.
I'd say it's the worst show is just the first one I remember. I think the when I was like 19 playing out shows, I did really bad shows. But my first show out, I've rewatched some of the footage from it, and I was so nervous. My first show out in ages, and it was really, really hot. The mic wasn't working properly. The in-ears weren't working properly. Nothing I had done to like make sure that it was going to work was working. I also had a guitarist that insisted I use a vocal pedal, and I kept having to like go over and mess with the vocal pedal, and I felt so awkward the whole time. So it was hot, and I was upset when I was done, but I really try and look on like the bright side. Like that was just my first time out, like in forever. So I could do worse. But I didn't fall on my face, at least. I also had these really nice boots on the next time I was on that stage that I did not fall on my face for that one either. So that's good.
Hell yeah.
I think my best show was probably also my worst show. Like last year at Blue Ridge, I commend all the bands that were out there because it was easily like 90 some degrees, and under the lights it was way hotter. But the problem was there was dust. So the whole time it was like this haze of just dust. When I walked off the stage, my combat boots were brown and they started out being black, but all that was going into my nose and my mouth the entire time that I'm breathing in this hot air to try and get a breath. I went through like 6 water bottles at that show, believe it or not, because I just couldn't breathe and I was trying to get any sort of oxygen or liquid or anything that I could get. Probably my best show, but I struggled at that show more than anything else because I couldn't breathe just naturally.
Yikes.
Doesn't sound fun.
No.
That's rough. I can't imagine. I mean, you're just coughing up dust and all that, whatever else is in the air. Plus, you're inhaling everyone's smoke that's just building up, even though it's open air. When you got 1,000 people smoking right there in front of you, you're still getting that shit directly. And so then all that crap. Ooh, I can't imagine.
We were all sick for about a week afterward because of all the congestion stuff. I was coughing up like this mush for 5 or 6 days probably. Every time I would blow my nose, it's like, I don't know if you guys ever played with fog machines.
Yeah.
You blow your nose and like the black comes out. It was like that for all of us for days. Some of us got like upper respiratory issues for days after that because you just couldn't breathe. And then when you came back to normal air, it still felt like you couldn't breathe because your chest was just full of dust.
Oh, God.
Terrible. Worth it.
I cannot imagine. But ladies, I got one more question I would like to ask you, each of you.
Okay.
As an artist, what are your strongest and weakest points in your personal opinion? And what could you do to improve upon the weakness? And do you think you need to come down from thinking too positively for what your strengths are? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Let's start with that first.
I think. Who's going?
You go ahead.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Okay.
Okay.
I think my strengths are definitely the business aspects of how to market myself, the band, maintain our image, our PR and all of that stuff. That I've got that on lock. I work in law by day, so I have an idea of how all of that works, the finances, etc. So that's easy peasy. As far as my instrument, I have my care down, how to properly care for my instrument, how to work towards it, make it better. Um, like Mindy says, I have good days and bad days. I try to stay humble. I know there's always a better singer. My weakness, believe it or not, is actually writing the music. My band is extremely talented and they will write music left and right. Lyrics for me, because I'm actually in a happy place in my life and I'm so positive right now. And I was so used to creating from a place of misery. I have had such a difficult time trying to write new music because I'm not miserable anymore. And that's how I knew that was my expression. This music was this creation of Forever May Fall, was how to express my sadness and my anguish and my anger. So the way I've been working on that weakness is to branch out to other artists and learn their processes, working with different producers, working with different artists, collaborating with other artists to see their processes, because not every single band that we've listened to has such a miserable song. So those are the people that I'm reaching out to see, like, you know, how did you Venn diagram your ideas and then start going from there? Did you paint pictures? Like, what did you do? And just try and get new ideas to expand on that.
Okay, that's awesome. And ladies, what about you?
I'd say for me, my strengths are that, you know, it's kind of the same thing. You know, I've been in the business long enough that some of the other people in the band, this is their first band. So it's kind of up to me to make sure that the marketing is correct, to make sure that things are going as planned, you know. But I think that my weaknesses are probably that I'm just such a perfectionist about everything that I feel like I'm still constantly learning. You know, everybody just looks to me to be like, okay, well, you've been in this for 22 years, you're established, you know what you're doing. And I'm like, I really don't. I'm still figuring out things as I go. The older I get, the more my voice changes. You know, the more that music industry changes. And so I'm learning to adapt. And my thing is just trying to work on not being so much of a control freak, you know, not being so hard on myself and not taking into consideration what I want and what the band wants, but also, you know, trying to ride that fine line of this is what everybody out there listening wants too. And it's this constant, it's always adapting, like Jill said. It really is. I'm just too hard on myself. But I think that vocalists always are, so that's probably everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on the fact that as a vocalist, I am the hardest on myself than anybody else is. I constantly think people are lying to me about the fact that I sound good, and I will be a perfectionist until the day I die. So that's probably my biggest weakness, is the fact that I can record myself like 15, 20 times, and somebody will say, "You're good, stop," and I'm like, I could do better. But I also think that's a strength in its way too, is like I am always striving to be better. I want more for the band. I want more for myself. I want more, you know, to come out of the music that we make. So if we touch like one or two lives, that's good. That's good for me, and I love that. But I kind of sympathize with, I'm pointing that way. Yeah. Sympathize with Jill that writing songs from a place of sorrow is very easy. But writing songs from a place of happiness is hard. And what's coming now is that my dreams are where the songs are coming from. So all my lyrics and little melodies, I have to wake up in like the middle. This is why I don't sleep until 3 a.m. I have to wake up in the middle of the night and write stuff, because Dear Lilith came out of a dream, and I wrote down those lyrics in the middle of the night. A lot of my songs right now that I'm thinking about have come out of my dreams. So that's the best way to kind of tap into that, is to figure out where your subconscious ends and where your conscious begins. Because my subconscious likes some weird stuff, so we're going to stay there.
Absolutely. And I don't know if this helps you at all, Jill, but this last album that we're putting out is all positive stuff. And my entire life, my entire career, I've always written from a place of misery. But what I've been doing now is been kind of like talking to my future self when I'm in those sad moments, is those empowering moments. It's kind of like letters to myself for the future. And that's kind of
Ooh, I like
helped
that.
me, is like, it's not necessarily writing about the positive things in my life now, because I kind of feel that comes off
A little cheesy.
to me.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you take all those miserable points that you're going through, or that you will go through, because life's not always easy, it's kind of like writing to yourself, like, what would I want to hear at this moment when I'm in these downtrodden moments, like telling yourself that it's going to be okay, and empowering and breaking away from all of the negative stuff. And I think that's really what helped me. I don't know if that helps you at all, but
Oh, that's awesome. That's a different point of view that I haven't actually looked at. So I'm definitely interested to sit down and try that. I think
Yeah,
also, like,
and-
I made such a. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I made so many drastic changes in such a short period of time for myself that I'm almost kind of learning how to be me. And it's like, is the like the imposter syndrome again? Like, is this the true me? Because I don't drink anymore. I don't really, I'm trying to learn, like, are these hobbies, some of these hobbies that I have, did I have them because they were just fun while being drunk, or do I actually like the activity? Same thing with some people in my life too. Like, did I enjoy being around you because you were actually fun, or did you just provide booze at a good time? So
I like about that.
yeah, that's actually a really good thing to write about. But a lot of my writing I also would do, like, I would come down here, I would strum a guitar or play a piano, I'd have a case of beer, and I would just let myself spiral into this place in my head where the words, I mean, I didn't even have to think. It was just automatic. So I never had to actively, like, try to pull it out. And now
So
I do.
you know why the alcohol helps, and this is just something that is opinion for myself, but it's because you don't have that strong hold on yourself. You're not thinking so much. You're just letting everything go. You don't give a shit. You can still do that without the alcohol, but you just have to get to that point in your head where you're not so worried about what you yourself are thinking or what anybody else is feeling, and just let it flow. It may not be perfect and you'll have to go back and work it out or whatever, but just let it all out, like, subconsciously, instead of thinking about it. When you think about it and you try to write what it is, this certain subject that you want to write about, it's never going to come out. It's writer's block because you're forcing it. If you just sit down and not give a shit about what you're writing and just brainstorm and write down some ideas or whatever, I feel like you'll probably come back to it and you'll have something that's worth writing about.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult thing for me, especially like I said, like, I've got two splits. I work in law by day, and I am extremely analytical, looking at all sides of a token by day. And then here I am at night trying to write music where you're like, nah, you can't do that. Everything that you've just done for the last 10 hours today, like, nah, you got to be something completely different. So that's also, like, that's just a loop too.
One of my favorite things, and this might be too witchy for other people, is to write lyrics underneath a full moon or a new moon, whichever one. Because the new moon is about manifesting the new, and the full moon is about coming to a complete cycle. So light some incense, cleanse all that crap from off of you, and then meditate if you need to, and write. Just sit down and write whatever stupid crap comes into your mind, and eventually that stupid crap will make sense. But sometimes I actually have to hear a song first, or I have to hear a melody first. But majority of the time, lyrics are therapy, and they've always been therapy, even if it's a good or bad. I had a really great therapist as a kid that said, focus on art and you will always find the good. Like, you'll find some little speck of light in your darkness. So, hey, Chip.
Chip. That's great advice. Thank you, Taryn.
Yeah.
Do you have old journals when you were a kid? Maybe that would help.
I do have some of them, and I look back on some of them, and I have to lose that analytical sense, because the way I knew how to get rid of that previously was, like I said, the drinking, and what Mindy said is just getting into that place in your head where you can lose that control of yourself and kind of review it and edit and go back and create.
Yeah, I think something else that helps is like whenever the guys write the music, say Josh writes this awesome riff and we put it into fruition, I'll say, well, how did this make you feel? What were you going through at the time that you wrote this? I'll listen to it. I'll figure out how it made me feel. If it's something super passionate, if it's something really angry, if it's something I want to dance to, I try to translate that. I kind of feel like I'm the translator. You know, how is this going to come across to other people? How does this make you feel? Is it upbeat? Is it angry? And then I just kind of put myself into that mindset of something that may have happened in my life or somebody else's life, or even a movie that I might have watched that goes along with that feeling. And then I just brainstorm ideas based around that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but
Yeah.
All right, ladies, I'm sorry to cut this short, but something just literally came to my attention, and it needs my attention immediately. I want to thank you for giving me the time to interview you all, and I know I'll do it again soon. But I will leave Rob with you ladies. I apologize. It's rare for me to do this, but this needs my attention immediately.
love
I will talk to you ladies soon, and you have a beautiful night, and thank you for Ladies' Night. Rob, thank you for having
No problem.
Ladies' Night.
No problem.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye. Nestor asked what song is the most special to you that you've written, in case you missed it. I'm gonna start it since I'm talking, anyways.
Yeah, go for it.
Technically, I didn't write the entire song. The actual song is was written by a previous guitarist, and it's the Goddess Rising song, which you haven't listened to it. You should listen to it. It's groovy and it goes like towards really high stuff at the end. But my husband actually wrote it. The guy that came up, so Aaron Carpenter, he wrote the lyrics to that song, and it's if I remember correctly, he was saying it was kind of like a love song to me, where he was writing it to, as I came from a lot of like toxic people in my previous relationships, and kind of like coming out of it and saying like, I don't need you, and I am the goddess. I am above all of that bullcrap, you know? So, and then I rewrote some of the lyrics, which I'm not sure he's very happy about, but I did rewrite some of it and make it kind of my own. But the song I'd hit a roadblock on what I was going to write, but it's really special for me to perform it and to sing it. And I haven't sung it in a while, but the first time I was up on stage, I kind of like held back some tears for that song just because I knew it was written for me technically. So I liked it.
Very cool. I had written a song a couple years ago that we never actually had done anything with, and I do have the intention of trying to put it out now because I think Colt has just a really good knack of trying to capture the emotion that I'm trying to convey. But I didn't have that before with my previous guitarists, and I had written a song about my Aunt Vicky, who had passed away in 2018. She was my biggest fan, and there was just a whole slew of emotions that went into just the series of events throughout the course of long time. And it was one of those things where I found out about her passing, and my mom just needed help with the whole estate process and trying to tie up loose ends, and I like went business first, and I stayed in that business mode and that logic mode for so long that it took probably a solid year or so for the actual sadness and emotion to hit me, and I wrote it down. And the lyrics were there, everything was pretty tight. We did try and structure it out into a song, but my former guitar players, they kept just changing it. Like I wanted it to be soft and acoustic, and then he wanted it to be loud and abrupt, and we just weren't seeing eye to eye, so we shelved it. And I definitely want to go back and revisit that for sure, because I think with a lot of the ambient sounds that we've been playing with, I think we could definitely make it very goosebumpy.
Yeah, I have a song I wrote for my late brother that I still need to do something with, but I just don't know exactly how I'm going to get through an entire live set with that song.
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah.
I'd say for me, this is gonna sound really cliche, but I think all the songs that I've written on this new album are super special to me because this has kind of been like the evolution of finding out who I am as an artist and finding out what direction I want to go in as a human in general, and just being very vulnerable and raw for the first time ever, because I feel like on all the other albums I've ever done, this has kind of been like me catering to what everybody else wanted me to be and being what I thought I should be. And I think at this point in my life and my career, this is just the realest that I've ever been with myself, if that makes any sense. I know to the vocalist that probably makes sense, but just being able to tap into that vulnerability for me. I've never been a person who wanted to be vulnerable in the public eye whatsoever. And this album is just me cutting myself open to just say, here it is. If you want it, if you don't, cool. And also the solo stuff that I've been doing, I think is even more so vulnerable because that doesn't come with a band at all. It's just me sitting down and wrestling with my emotions and the flaws that I have within myself and trying to be a better person and being a better musician and putting those flaws down on paper to try and remind myself of why I'm doing these things and trying to better myself. And so for me, it's hard to pick. It's like they're all my little babies, and I can't love one just more than the other. But this album is everything to me, honestly.
Sweet.
So I do this every episode. You can flip it on me now.
Why do you have sleeves, Rob?
Why do I have sleeves?
Why do you have sleeves? It's not cold.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, so here's a good one that's in the chat, though. What's better, Burger King or Wendy's, Rob? Which do you prefer?
I'm going to have to say Wendy's.
I mean, I'm going to have to go with Burger King because they're the only place that has a not meat burger.
I knew you were going to say that. I swear to God.
The only place that has an Impossible Whopper.
Wendy's, I think, is better, but I'm a meat eater, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Burger King fries, I find superior.
I was going to say, I think
Burger King fries remind me of my ex-boyfriend. His whole car smelled like Burger King fries.
Wait. Just cut me. Hold up. Burger King fries remind me of my ex-boyfriend. Did you find them like under the back seat of the car? Like,
yeah, I mean there were so many French fries in there, and yeah.
Hence the reason he's next. So.
Best thing I have ever heard.
That's awesome.
You have the smells, they just trigger memories for you.
Yeah.
And that's the memory that I get is that asshole ex-boyfriend.
It's like Bacardi Dragonberry reminds me of my is it my junior year of college? But either my junior or my sophomore year of college. Clearly I don't remember it much because it smelled like Bacardi Dragonberry.
Oh.
It's perfect.
I'll never drink it again, but
There's actually a really nice cologne that it smells really nice, but I can't smell it anymore because it also reminds me of an ex-boyfriend. So, yeah.
I don't have any ex-boyfriends, so.
Well, you're
Me
lucky that you have an ex-boyfriend.
Me neither.
Yeah, right?
Me neither. So we're good.
look at that. The room is evenly divided.
There's also a cherry perfume that I haven't smelled in ages that reminds me of an ex-girlfriend. So
I was gonna say she's on the
both sides.
spectrum. She's kind of on the spectrum.
Was her
On
name
the
Kitty
spectrum.
Perry?
Kitty
No.
Curry.
Yeah, was her name Kitty Perry?
Hurry.
no.
No.
I know you're laughing, but did you know that Katy Perry's cat's name is Kitty Purry?
That's incredible.
Oh, is she?
Okay,
I'm
you're
not
welcome.
mad.
I'm full of useless information. You're welcome.
I mean, my dog's name is Nuggy, and my favorite food before becoming vegan was chicken nuggets. So,
Not
Chicken
surprised.
nuggets.
I mean,
Not
I
surprised.
also still eat chicken nuggets, but they're not chicken. They're
Yeah.
chicken.
They're
I have a
plants.
cat named Bananas, so I mean, but I love bananas, so
But cats are also bananas, so that's funny.
they are bananas. Yeah.
I have like this weird farm at my house, so I have an even number of cats, snakes, and tarantulas.
Oh.
I can't do the tarantula.
I'm terrified of spiders. Get this. I'm absolutely terrified of spiders. But we have 4 tarantulas in the house.
Yeah. No, my favorite spider is actually the little tiny jumping spiders. They're very, very
They are
cute.
cute.
But they're also
They're like
smart.
this big.
Yeah.
Funny story is my roommate actually collects those in the house. Like, they'll be in the house at some point, especially in the summertime, and she'll catch them and she'll feed them. And so they become her pets. So she's got this little terrarium with, like, little jumpers.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And they actually kind of remember your face, too. So they're really, really smart little spiders.
Good to know. The tarantulas feel like kittens. Did you guys know that? Like, when you touch them, they're soft like cats. And they're super slow. Like, I'm terrified of spiders because they move really fast, and when they disappear, you can't find them, and it's like this fear in the back of your head, like you're gonna die because, you know, this tiny little thing is loose in the house. But with tarantulas, it's like, even if they did bite you, you're just gonna get a little rash. It's not a big deal. It kind of feels like a bee sting. It's not terrible. Same with the snakes. It's not a big deal. And so, like, I know what they're capable of. They move really, really slow, and they feel like kittens. So I'm like, I don't even classify them as spiders. They're tarantulas. It's not the same.
I always have to like knock my boots out and stuff like that because I swear I almost got bit by a brown recluse. So and they love to get into my house. But I don't mind spiders, and I don't mind most reptiles or anything like that. It's ants. I hate ants.
I hate spiders for the same reason that Mindy does, because they move too fast, and they usually always find me at my most vulnerable fucking moments. Like when I just step into the shower, or when I politely am trying to take a shit in private, and there's Carl Jr. with 14 legs and eyes staring across the room at me.
Yep.
And yes, Nectar, I am sitting in a gaming chair. And
well, the thing
perfect
is
for
that
guitar.
most spiders will not bother you unless you bother them. So
True.
That is a lie. That is a damn lie. I don't watch that in the shower.
they're in there for water and food. You probably have an abundance of like flies or something that they can get. You know, that's what they're in there
I just have a house that was built in 1978 that has probably settled so far that there are gaps this big between things there shouldn't be gaps in.
Can you imagine how the spiders feel, though? Just think about that for a second. They're like, there's this thing that walks around making all this noise with giant...
You're getting a free show, homie.
It's like, look, movies make me smile. But anyways, that's not the point. We got far left, okay? You might be getting a free show, but they're still scared of you because your one boob is like bigger than its entire existence on like any plane. It's like terrifying. I'd be scared too, man. I don't know.
So no spiders at our future shows.
Yeah, I'm cool with no
unless
spiders.
they're tarantulas, and
Unless they're tarantulas and they stay in the cage, just so Jill doesn't freak out.
Or Spider-Man, I guess.
We can all, if we all like snakes, though, we could all just do that.
I do like snakes.
You know,
okay, see
Spears
that works.
moment,
I do like
wrapping
snakes.
around us. Yeah.
See, you'll never see me like scream like bloody murder when I see a spider, but I just have this one sound effect that's just like, oh.
See, why are we opposites? Because you would think that would be my sound, but I'm more like, ah! Believe it or not, that's a real thing. That's probably the girliest thing you'll ever hear. Don't tell anybody. That only happens here. But it's true. That's absolutely the truth.
I don't
So
know the
Rob,
sound that I
where are
make
you?
with
Where
it.
are you on the spider spectrum, Rob?
I'm good. I'm not afraid of spiders, not snakes. No.
So we missed a question. Old Nectar here says, "What's y'all's favorite movie and why?"
I'm gonna have to go with Pulp Fiction
Okay.
Ooh.
because, so growing up my entire life, my entire life. I'm definitely older than 19 now. I never
So am
heard.
I.
I never heard my father curse. Like, he would say shit like horse hockey, or I'd hear him say like bull crap. But up until the time I was 19 years old, I had never heard my father curse I never heard him say the fuck nothing. Meanwhile, my mom, she's the reason why my first word was fuck. But so, you know, her and I were the sailors of the house, and my dad was like the patron saint of no cursing. And
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever heard him say fuck. I was 19. I was driving in my car. He was in the passenger seat, and somebody had cut me off, and I slammed the brakes. And my dad was just like, "What the fuck?" And like I slammed the brakes again because I was like, "Yo, what?" But once he said that, he had opened up the floodgates of like, okay, well now I can say it in front of you. I'm also
Yeah.
old enough. So I came home from a friend's house one night after watching Pulp Fiction, and we had a super small house that I grew up in. It was like 800 square feet. So I walk in my front door. My dad's over here in the kitchen, and like I close the door behind me, and I'm like just standing with my back against the door, just like kind of looking at him with this jackass face on, which he knows means I'm about to do something asshole-ish. And he like kind of looks at me and cocks his head, and just dead staring him on. I'm like, I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker. And my dad just goes, okay.
That's a great story, actually. I'm very entertained.
This the little things in life.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just funny watching his face, like as it's coming out. He's like, the excitement growing.
Man, I think that's such a hard question. Like, for me, it's something in between probably, like, The Craft or Girl Interrupted or Edward Scissorhands. Those are some of my top favorites. But I'd say
Okay.
the movie that changed my life, probably, I was in my teens, and it changed my life for two reasons. But it's a movie called Foxfire. And it was the first Angelina Jolie movie that I'd ever seen in my life. And it's about these girls who are in high school that are just rebellious as shit. You know, they don't take a no for an answer. They're just like the girls who get into everything. And that was me in high school. So it was something that I definitely took into consideration of like, okay, maybe I should not be this person. I want to have a future and do things. So I think it made me better. But also, I think that was the moment that I realized I was gay because Jolie. So
Shit, man. I'd swing for the other team for Angelina.
right?
They're like, so I'm 100% normally by day, every day, wake up attracted to men. But there are some women out there that it's like, I'd try it.
I love you so much.
You heard it. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I said this on my last one, but it doesn't really change because my all-time favorite movie that I could watch probably over and over again is What Dreams May Come. It's got Robin Williams in it, and
That's a
the
good one.
cinematography, the whole story, it's a really great story, and it's my comfort movie. It's the movie I could fall asleep to. It's everything. So I love that movie.
So I just died inside a little bit because Nestor said, not gonna lie, Brad Pitt can get it.
I think
Shook.
there's one. I feel like there's one for everyone. Everybody's like, I could totally see myself, maybe,
Oh, yeah.
possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this discussion with my husband. It's one of the Doctor Who people. So yeah.
I felt that. Yeah, there's some guys that I'm like, wow, you're prettier than I am. You have nice teeth. That's like the weird things for me. I'm like, I'm not really attracted to men, but I'm like, you have nice facial features. Your hair is pretty.
Oh shit. I feel everybody's got one. Some people just won't admit it, but everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings me to my next question. Okay, I have a question for all of you guys.
Okay.
One secret that you think everybody should know about you.
One secret that everybody should know.
Hard question.
And
It
it
is
wouldn't
hard.
be a secret then, would it?
Well,
No.
exactly. We're turning everybody out tonight, okay?
I have any secrets?
No,
Yeah.
I'm an open book. So
See, this shows me that you guys are my fucking people because I'm like, tell me a secret. I don't have any. I'm like, I love you even more.
Yeah, it's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to be like I'm not really an asshole, but like no, I'm an asshole. I'm always an asshole, but like I'm the fun kind of asshole. Like I'm not rude.
Yeah.
I mean, I am sometimes when it's funny, but like I'm not like an evil-spirited asshole who wants to see you do poorly in life. Like I just say the funny shit that some people probably wouldn't say.
exactly. I mean, I'm a sarcastic asshole.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Look, my mom told me I could be anything I wanted in life, and I chose to be an
I'm
asshole.
being the asshole.
I dig it.
My mom raised us to be compassionate assholes. So she
Yeah.
an asshole that care. Yeah. I think a lot of people tend to not realize that I'm a nice person, like until they meet me. So like I have the
Actually, I think
exterior.
we all get that.
They have the exterior of like like the goth girl or the alt girl, whatever you want to call me, and then they meet me and realize that I would basically tear my heart open to like help them,
I think the
at my own
secret is that
expense.
we're a lot more humble than
Yeah.
people think.
Yeah,
Well, I think-
absolutely.
Well, for some of us too, myself included, like the way that we are on stage is like a whole different spectrum of where we are off the stage. And so like
Yeah.
when people see me, I'm out there and I'm like in my sleeveless shirts as usual, and I've got all my goth makeup on and I just have this RBF always for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know why. People are always like, I'm so intimidated by you because you scream. And I'm like, hi guys, how are you doing? And they're like, what the hell? Like you just
But what?
was that you on stage? I'm like,
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
When I saw you in person for the first time, I was like, I saw right through that. Like your face definitely had RBF on it, but you were over there in like a corner, just kind of like hanging out by yourself. So I was like, I'm gonna go say hi to her because I could see right through the fact that you were just like hanging out by yourself. You weren't trying to be dismissive of other people; just other people were scared to come to you.
That's
So as
always-
another vocalist to another vocalist, we're just sitting here going, "We're gonna go make friends."
Yeah, so we could see that. I
Yeah.
think as vocalists, we could see and also understand that like there is definitely a certain level of confidence that you need to exude when you're on stage to put on the proper show. But like, just because I look like I'm a cocky asshole on stage does not mean that when I get off that stage, I don't want to hear from you or nothing. Like, sure, give me my 5 minutes to like, towel off the sweat, but definitely I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want to, I don't want people to think that just because I'm up there, stomping my feet and, giving the finger left and right, like, it doesn't mean that I don't want to hear from anybody.
Well, I will say my personal experience with both of you within the first 5 minutes, I was like, dang, man, she's sweet. Because, like, usually, especially with other women, it's like you never know how to, like, interact with them. I'm such a dude, like I said. Like, I'm so used to being around guys all the time that when women approach me, I'm like, hi. I don't know what to do. And then you guys are so
Hey.
sweet. And I'm like, all right, I get along with you. Let's go have a beer. This is awesome. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Colt wanted me to share a secret that I still giggle every time I fart. At 32 years old, it'll never not be funny. So
Don't love you.
yeah. So like he'll be in one room and I'll be in the other, and like he might not hear the fart, but he'll hear that, and he knows exactly what just went on.
That's
So yeah, there's the secret.
so.
Still giggle.
I think the only thing I can think of really is like I do weird shit in my sleep. Like nobody knows that obviously unless you sleep in the same bed with me. So if we have a sleepover, you're gonna figure this out. But I do weird shit in my sleep. I can't really explain the spectrum of weirdness because it varies from a lot of things between just talking some weird nonsense that I probably shouldn't do to if we couple, I'm probably gonna like mosey up to your butt for some reason. That's a thing I do. Like even with my friends, I have to be like butt contact. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do weird shit in my sleep. Don't sleep with me. I'm sorry.
I do too, apparently.
Just throw punches in her sleep.
I'd switch and throw punches. There was one night, I think I don't remember if we were in bed or if I had fallen asleep on the couch, but I have this really bad habit of like falling asleep with my arms over my head. So, you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh God, they'll definitely need to be amputated this time for sure.
Yeah.
But there was one night that like Colt was like right here, and out of nowhere, whenever I was dreaming, I just went, "Whoa!"
Oh my god.
I mean, like, I think I missed his job by that much, but yeah,
So I'm not sleeping with you then, because you said you sleep with your arms like this, and I had this ex one time. I was dead asleep, and she rolled over with the elbow straight across the bridge of my nose and almost broke my nose in my sleep. And I'm like, how do I explain this to people? Like, you can't just be like, well, I fell, or my girlfriend accidentally hit me. Nobody's gonna believe that.
Right.
But
Oh,
she ended up threw some bows
I
and
bet.
messed up my nose.
Driveway.
my
Aaron's
husband-
comment.
What's Aaron's comment?
I
Can't
once
see it.
sleep screamed that I vacuumed the fucking driveway.
Oh, yeah. When him and I first got together, he used to be like a very like he used to hit in his sleep. So he used to hit in his sleep a lot. But I never really got hit until like much later. And I told him that, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. I would never do that to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but you were sleeping." I secretly have a recording of him talking in his sleep. I'm just going to release it to him one day over music. It'll be great.
My favorite is, so Colt in his sleep, he gets to, I do the same thing. It was really funny when we both realized that we both do this. But did you ever like wind up in that like, it's almost like Twilight, like you're coming out of sleep and you're not yet awake, but you're also not really asleep. So like you can hear the sounds in the room around you, but you think you're dreaming them. So I do that shit all the time. Like I'll be like falling asleep on the couch and I'll just start talking nonsense, and Colt will be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'll be like, "It's time to go to bed." But there was one morning. There was one morning I was just waking up and I just hear him go, "Yeah," and I'm like, "What?" So I go to wake him up and he just goes, "Yeah, that's it." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I shook him. And when he woke up, the look of pure defeat on his face when he realized that he was not at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru. I've like never seen somebody wake up so sad before. He straight dead ass thought that he was ordering a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant at Dunkin' Donuts.
Please tell me you took him to get breakfast after that.
He did. He went and got it right after. Oh man. Oh yeah. He and I would have full conversations too, and we both wouldn't remember.
I have conversations with Aaron, but he definitely doesn't remember my conversations.
Oh,
Apparently, my girlfriend was telling me that I hit on her in my sleep. I'll be like dead asleep, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're so sexy." I don't know. I'll be like, "I did not think that I was asleep." She's like, "No, you did."
At least it's your girlfriend.
Yeah,
It could be worse things.
right.
At least she's not talking to like you're not talking to someone else in the sleep. You're
That's-
talking to the girlfriend.
That's true. Ask me questions and like wanting answers, not knowing I'm asleep. Because a lot of times I'll be completely dead asleep.
That's the worst.
And I'll wake up and she's like, "Were you asleep?" I'm like, "No, I wasn't asleep." And she's like, "You've been snoring for 15 minutes." I'm like, "No,
Colt does that.
I didn't. That wasn't me at all." So she'll have like these full-on conversations with me, not knowing I'm asleep, and I'll just go right off the grid and be like, "You have a nice butt," you know. And she's like, "I was asking if I could take the car." Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Take the compliment.
No.
Oh, it's funny as shit. What about you, Rob? You do weird shit in your sleep?
Not that I know of, because I'm asleep.
Do you guys ever wake yourself up with a loud snore? No, I do not wake myself up, but I definitely wake up my poor dog who chooses to sleep curled up right behind my ass.
I only snore when I'm like sick or like super tired or stressed out. So I have woken myself up with that. Mainly my husband is the one keeping everybody awake with the snoring. So
Yeah, same.
yeah, I'm never
definitely.
playing a show and I tell you I've been up all night. It's either my kid or my husband to blame.
I do snore myself awake, and I've never like woke myself up farting, but apparently I do that in my sleep sometimes. I guess everybody probably does. I don't know, but I do both probably.
Have you ever fartled yourself while awake?
What?
like startled yourself with a fart?
Yes.
Startled?
Oh.
Startled.
The compound words. No, I can't say I've ever done that, but there have been times when like, you know, I've been doing something like not too long ago. I'm just gonna put myself out there. Okay, so I was in the store and like I wasn't feeling so great. I had to go in and get a few things or whatever, and I'm in there and like I had to fart really bad, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want anybody to know, but like I really have to fart. I can't hold it in, you know. So I go to this aisle where nobody's over there, and I fart, and this lady comes straight around the corner. I was like, oh my god, do you smell that? So here. It is so bad. And she's like, yeah, I heard it from the other aisle. And I was like, that is just so rude. I can't believe somebody would do that. I've got to get out of here because it smells so bad.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
let's go. This is awful. And I was like,
That's incredible.
terrible.
There was there was one time I was at the gym.
Oh, jeez.
This was before I started going to the gym that I'm at now, but I was on the treadmill. And like I just started running faster and it like just squeaked out like as I was running. Like I was like, what
Okay.
was that?
Did you have a protein shake before or any?
A protein is always after.
Okay, did you have pre-workout?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh my god, yeah.
There you go.
You
That
hear the
is-
wheels on that squeaking? I can't believe this machinery. It needs oiled up.
They need to oil this
That-
treadmill.
That's one of the reasons.
Well, the funniest thing is me being the asshole that I am. Like, as I'm running, like, don't even miss a beat. I'm like, who let that damn duck in here? I used to like the
Well, I
one
don't know
poor guy on
about-
the treadmill who forgot his headphones. Like, what? There's a duck?
That
I'm
is
a
the
lady. I do not pass gas in public. So
Oh, do you fart glitter? Do you
yes.
fart glitter and poop butterflies?
I don't know. There was something instilled in me as like the child where you excused yourself to another room or something
Just-
like that.
I mean, sometimes you don't make it to the other room.
Yeah.
Like I was running on that treadmill. There was no possible
No.
I didn't even know it happened until it happened. I didn't know it was going to happen until it happened.
with
Yeah.
with how the gas prices are, you save some money.
I think collectively, if we all started eating Chipotle,
Yeah.
Yes.
On that
All
note.
right, okay. So at this time, ladies, would you like to promote what's going on in your lives?
sure. I know Mindy's got a lot of exciting stuff going on.
You go first.
Me? Oh, me?
Well, mine will be shorter if you want that. I've already pretty much talked
Feel
about
free.
it.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. The only lady in the group. I'm sorry. Well, if you haven't checked us out, Lilith Rising is the name of the band. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook. Follow us on all of the platforms. Whether you like to or not, I will hunt you down and I will make you do it. And we are working on a new single. It's called Dear Lilith. If you haven't heard the little sample of it, go ahead and check that out. I do have that up. I also plan to put up in a video, a little like small video of it up on YouTube as well. So it's up there. It's going to be up there soon. Once we have our guitar set in place, then we are going to start going full force. So just make sure that you keep checking on us, and we'll keep checking on you. So that's basically it.
Heck yeah. We'll just make it go down the little loop here.
Yeah.
So I'm Fox, or AKA Jill, whichever one, from Forever May Fall. We're on all the socials: Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Find us. You can find us personally too. Most of our personal socials are linked to the band stuff. Our single Aftermath dropped in February. It's out there. We got a music video. We got Spotify available everywhere. Some behind the scenes stuff there too. Feel free to check it out. And we are actually teeing up this weekend to film our second music video for our second single that will be coming out. Date has not yet been released, but it will be early. Oh, it's still spring. It's not summer yet. So I was gonna say early summer, but that's not accurate. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. We've got a few more coming out this year, so we're gonna be busy bees. But up to date, we've got a new single coming out late spring.
Awesome. I love you both. P.S. By the way, just want to start with that. Glad to be here with you.
Me too.
Of course, first and foremost, check out Dying Oath on all socials. Please make sure you're following our Spotify, YouTube, all that good jazz, because we have an entire new lineup. All new music that has not been released yet is going on to the album. So it's a full album of fresh songs for you guys. So make sure you're following us on all the socials. If you guys can make it out to a show this year, we'll be doing Blue Ridge, Amp Fest, a couple of the local shows. But also keep an eye out for my solo stuff. I don't promote that quite as much because I don't have time with all the band stuff going on. But those are little pieces of me that you guys can find everywhere as well. And thank you guys.
Hell yeah. Yeah, keep your eyes out. There might be some interesting collabs that happen throughout the year with some cool people. So that's definitely a goal of ours this year, is to work with some other talented musicians and share the love.
Same here, little Easter eggs, but I also am collabing with some really awesome people this year. We just released a song with I just released a song with Will Baker, who has helped me out with a lot. He's actually helping me put out a small EP this year of songs that I'm collabing with other artists with, which is cool. He's kind of helping bridge the gap, put a bunch of artists together and do that. And also another Easter egg, Nestor actually is our new vocalist. So if you haven't
No way!
Fuck
Look
yes.
at that.
Fuck yes! That's awesome! Congratulations!
That makes me.
Dude, that makes me so happy.
We're not releasing that anywhere else, so you only heard it here first. I think Nestor let a little bit leak out. He had a contest yesterday with DWP, and he leaked it there. So it's just little Easter eggs. We're not announcing anything. If you're watching this, you heard it here first. If not, you guys will find out with the rest of the population later on. So
That's awesome. That makes me so happy.
That is awesome.
Congrats. That's a great addition for sure.
thank you. He's very amazing. I mean, everything I could have wanted in a partner, honestly. Like, I've had some great partners in the past, not taking away from anything that we've done or that we will continue to do. All of my partners have been great, but me and Nestor have been really close since the day that we met. And he ended up leaving his band. We ended up losing our vocalist, and it just seemed right to bring in another family member to fill that spot. So he's been amazing.
That's awesome.
So we're very lucky to have him.
I'm like speechless now. That's awesome.
I might get in trouble for leaking that, but I doubt it.
I'll fight them.
I already knew that information. So.
Oh, now I feel left out.
Well,
All right.
it's been a rumor that's been going around the scene that might have happened, because literally around the exact same time he left his band and we lost our vocalist. So it was like this weird rumor that ended up coming true. So
Dude, it's awesome.
there you
though.
have it.
That's good. I'm collabing eventually once the song is complete with she's an ex-singer of Silence Machine, Danae Weathers.
Really?
Her and I are going to do a like kind of like that whole Within Temptation and Nightwish type of thing. We're gonna do
Sweet.
that kind of thing. It's all gonna be a song about female empowerment, and then the idea that I have is like get other women on stage during that and live shows and have them sing with us too. So,
Hell yeah, we've got some similar ideas as well, and it makes me happy to see that we're all working on this together instead of against each other, because for a long time, I mean, it's always been tough to be a woman in this industry, and mostly any industry, but in this industry in particular, and there was always some little level of competition. It really wasn't until you saw like Amy Lee and Lizzie Hale like really form that strong bond that we started seeing a lot more women teaming together and lifting each other and their bands up and working together than we have before. So I'm really happy to see that that's kind of the mantra that everyone's going for.
maybe more like in the America, like North America section, but you saw that a lot. That's why I like a lot of the bands that are like European, like Netherlands, Finland, that kind of thing. They were always like, you know,
they were always like that.
Yeah, they were always together. So just putting it out there, I will collab with either one of you at any day, anytime. Just tell me.
Hell yeah.
Like Joan Jett. Let's just do it.
So
We have to.
last question of the night. What do you want to say to your fans?
I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for anybody that follows me and cares. So
The fact that you take time out of your day to pick us when there's God knows how many other choices out there, it's just super cool. It's humbling.
Yeah.
It's the amount of gratitude, like there's no words to express it. Like I said earlier on, I'd be happy if 3 people listened, but the fact that there are even more is incredible. It's mind-blowing. And it's really cool to know that so many people enjoy what the hell I'm saying and how it sounds.
Absolutely. I feel like the fans are putting in equal work to us. You know, they think that we're doing everything for them, and we are. Absolutely. We couldn't do it without them because nobody would listen. But I feel like our fans are doing just as much work for us, you know, putting in day out, listening to our music, watching our interviews, showing up, sharing, just being there, just for us to know that you're actually there and that you care about what we're doing is the most fulfilling thing possible. So definitely, we love you. Thank you. And we hope that you continue to support us. All the love.
All the love. Oh my God, that thing. I love it.
So I'd like to thank you guys for all your time and, you know, coming on once again.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man.
My door is always open for you guys.
We love you, Rob.
I love you too.
You owe me a Coke.
You can have a beer. I'll buy you a beer.
Oh,
I'll buy you a beer.
down.
I'll take the Coke, though.
All right, have a great night, girls.
Have a good night, Rob.
thank you.
Love you all.